Canada's fire authorities have never seen anything like it.
They're breaking all records here.
Almost 6,000 separate wildfires have burnt all over the country.
It's the worst forest fire in record history. It's never happened before.
The fires are more intense, they're bigger.
That car needs to go! Where's that truck?
Canada has been overwhelmed.
I lost my home, I lost my vehicles, I lost all my tools.
So an international force of firefighters, thousands strong,
it's a mammoth effort,
has been flown in to help.
We're all in it together now.
Foreign Correspondent takes you inside the fireground to find out how a nation better known for snow and ice is coping.
More than 15 million hectares of thick forest has been scorched, and Canada's black summer is not over.
Kia ora.
Welcome to fire camp at high level.
It's a bit hot in here.
A United Nations of firefighters.
Here we're working alongside crews from South Africa, Canada, the US.
Locked in a daily, desperate battle to save homes and lives from the most serious fire threat Canada's ever faced.
Long day.
Clinton Newman is with the Rural Fire Service in Queensland. Here, he's acting as crew boss for Fire Team Charlie 161.
It's definitely starting to feel like the new norm. The frequency of these international deployments and the coming together and sharing of resources on the scale that we've seen, probably in the last sort of 5 to 10 years, has sort of been growing in increasing frequencies.
It's been thick, dense smoke for days.
Kerry-Ann Cummins is with the New South Wales Forestry Corporation. Here, she works a chainsaw, felling dangerous, burnt trees.
The last 2 days I've woken up with a bit of a sore throat. It's a combination of smoke, lack of sleep. You know, you're putting out hot spots and the ash just comes in, comes everywhere. Up here, it's daylight for 3/4 of the day. So you might be fighting the fire for 10, 15 hours and not realise that, oh my goodness, it's 8:30 at night and the sun's still in the middle of the sky. So it sort of throws you a little bit. Every day you get back and you take a big deep breath and go, oh, I made it.
The South African contingent has brought more than their firefighting prowess. They've also taken on responsibility for lifting the spirits of the entire camp before the morning briefing gets underway.
Totally amazing what's happening here. It sort of makes you quite emotional, actually. It's to see how far they've come and the spirit that they generate. It's just amazing.
But this morning, things have taken a serious turn.
So I ask you now all to take a moment of silence.
News has reached the camp. A falling tree in British Columbia has killed a 19-year-old firefighter. The first fatality of the season.
Unfortunately, there was a loss of a firefighter. So that's an opportunity to reflect on that and acknowledge her contribution, and also excuse me a sec.
It's a stark reminder for all, this is dangerous work.
Meanwhile, special air quality statements are in effect for much of Alberta today due to wildfire smoke.
They call Alberta the Texas of Canada. All over the province, it's canola, crude oil, and cowboys.
Cowboy shit goes on there.
All the heads of those guys, get my big round out of the ball. You can hear you high level for Drew Defect. He is one happy youngster right there.
Oh, old cowboy here, Clarence Fournier, saddle bronc rider. Yeah. Broke his neck, he had to retire. His wife caught him with another woman.
We're in high-level Alberta.
Up here, every element of life is overshadowed by the ongoing emergency.
I'm a tree planter. I basically got a day off because of the smoke. The helicopter pilot couldn't fly in this, and so that's why we're here.
We have fires all the way around, all pretty much in 4 directions, so it doesn't matter which way the wind goes, it really chokes down.
Everyone here in High Level has been living through this crisis.
Fox Lake was evacuated here, Château was evacuated. The town is absolutely full of evacuees.
Seasonal workers in timber and oil and gas normally fill the town's ample motel rooms. But this year, beds are hard to come by.
We've just got to High Level and scored the last room in town because this whole place is packed. And it's not tourists or seasonal workers here this year, but fire evacuees who have been staying in these motels, not for days, but for months.
I lost my home, I lost my vehicles, I lost all my tools. Can't do anything but sit home with my kids.
5% of Canada's population is Indigenous. This year, Indigenous communities have accounted for more than 42% of fire evacuations.
That was May 2nd. when we evacuated. Been out here living the hotel life since then. Been watching these kids playing on the sidewalk. That's my boy. It's so sad. I took this photo as we were leaving. Oh, that was my last look at home.
Robert Labakan, his wife, and their 5 kids have been staying here ever since.
I was just begging my kids, please pack your bags, pack your bags. We won't be coming home. Pack everything you can. We just ran. Couldn't even grab what we loved, but pardon my tears. This is Ronan, born May the 4th. During the evacuation, he was born. Mama got into shock and went into labor.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
3,500 people fled Fox Lake. 1,600 of them lost their homes. And the houses still standing aren't fit to live in.
I've been avoiding going home because I just don't want to see it like that.
Diane Manine's home survived the inferno.
All my art's in my house because I'm an artist too. And most of these are my art, like the tattoos.
But she hasn't laid eyes on it in 2.5 months. Until today. These barges are the only way in or out. Residents are allowed back briefly to collect personal belongings.
I haven't seen it this smoky in Fox Lake, I think, ever. So now it's just weird to go back home.
Fox Lake is a disaster zone with no electricity or clean water. This is all that's left of the police station.
And there was a house right here.
Oh, yeah.
And right there. Trailers. Homes.
Trailers.
Yeah.
Whose homes? Do you know them?
I know them, yeah. It's drains. There's just holes now on the ground. This is my home. But luckily our house is okay. It just doesn't feel real. It's very quiet now. No dogs barking, because you'd hear dogs everywhere. Quads going everywhere. And all these oats. Somebody left open our window and then a squirrel got in. And then we go down here. My room's down here. Strange coming here and not being able to stay. So I want to come home and just be home and lay in my bed and sleep. But all of these are going with me. So now hopefully when I go back to the hotel room and hang all these up, I'll feel a little bit better. Feel a little bit at home.
Well, we're surrounded by fire here. I have actually nothing to say because I'm scared shitless.
6 hours south, the East Prairie Métis settlement was given less than an hour's notice to evacuate.
Well, this is by the bridge. We're trying to get... That cat needs to go. Where's that truck? Hey.
The community chairman, Ray Supernault, captured the chaos that followed on his mobile phone.
We got jump closer, hang on. Here, let's move that off the way.
With just one old fire engine and a small water truck, 8 men fought through the night to save everything they could.
EP boys, be proud.
By morning, 44 houses were gone.
The lady that was living here who has like 4 children, little kids. In a nutshell, that's how it looked in every house.
That's all that's left?
That's all that's left.
So what was here, mate?
Was a nice house. I don't know. You can see just a pile of mud now.
But did you have water bombers from the state?
No, we didn't have nobody from... Forestry wasn't here. They came... Well, actually, I'm lying. Forestry was here with cats for about 2-3 hours. They were doing their assessments, and they left.
Despite worsening fire seasons, successive governments have slashed Alberta's wildfire fighting budget.
This bent the shit out of that.
Hoping to save taxpayer dollars and, quote, modernise the force.
This was their job, right? They would have put the fire out over there. It wouldn't have came into our community. And that's what really pisses me off, because the province should have stepped in somewhere, not the day of the fire to call me, should have stepped in 2-3 days before. I could have did something. Many, many people throughout this fire lost homes, structures, buildings, their livelihood. And it's because we didn't know what was coming. You know, what's an hour call, eh? Hey, fire's coming, get your people out. It's brutal, that's all I could say.
Canada's natural environment is the stuff of postcards. But it's also one of the world's biggest exporters of the fossil fuels that drive climate change. The fact they're being burnt somewhere else isn't helping Canada escape the impact.
It was clear earlier this morning, which was nice, and then, yeah, the smoke moved in, which is unfortunate.
It's a lot worse. There's a lot more fires this year, but get that with a lot more global warming as well.
The link to climate change is very clear. What we're doing now collectively, and that includes in Canada, is leading to the type of climate impacts we saw over the summer. I think this summer, certainly for the Northern Hemisphere, it will be a wake-up call.
It's not just international firefighters who've come to Canada.
Well, I would describe it as a global gathering of climate arsonists.
The future is a promising horizon of boundless growth.
The biggest petrochemical companies on Earth have gathered for LNG 2023, a liquefied natural gas conference.
So to the ladies in the house, yes, if you are around.
Here, LNG is being touted as a solution to the climate crisis.
Is there a sense of irony at all that a conference like this is happening at a time when half the country is on fire?
I think it's important that this conference is here in Canada because Canada is about to join the world of LNG exporting nations and going to help global climate change by supporting the displacement of coal by natural gas that's developed in a responsible and sustainable manner.
The LNG export boom is an awkward issue for Canada's progressive government and its former activist Environment Minister.
I knew going into politics that I wouldn't be able to win all my battles. And David, people also have to understand that, you know, between what scientists are saying and the ability and the agility of government to respond quickly, there is an unfortunate delay.
In British Columbia, this year's fire season is the worst on record.
Currently, there are about 2,000 wildfire fighters battling more than 350 fires across BC.
The terrain here is different to Alberta, in many parts even more inaccessible. Firefighters here have taken their methods to another level. They call themselves the smoke jumpers. A rapid response team of parachuting firefighters. They can deploy in minutes and reach any fire front in the province within 2 hours. But it's not all high-octane death defiance.
I'm just changing the thread so that it matches colors, because it's really nice when the colors all match up. My jump pants are just a little worn out from all the jumps we've been doing, so just patching that up.
A smoke jumper is basically responsible for the repair, maintenance, and installation or building of all of this equipment that we use. They're not items you can order. It's by far our busiest season ever, by leaps and bounds, in terms of missions flown as well as jumpers deployed. You know, in the old days, a 20,000 hectare fire was a big fire, and now on some of our larger fires, 20,000 hectares is what it moves in a day.
They spend up to a week on the fireground, sometimes even longer. Each smoke jumper is strapped with more than 30 kilograms of personal gear.
Lower ourselves rather correctly and connected.
Their food and drinking water gets its own parachute.
It changes everything when you know that at the end of the day you're gonna have a good meal. We've done like sushi and homemade poutine on the line. My specialty is I do like a baked brie, and I just like roast some garlic and I add like dried tomatoes and rosemary in it. However difficult the day is, if you sit down with the boys and you have a good steak at the end of the day, it's all worth it.
With such a huge area and so many fires burning, the best way to comprehend the scale of this emergency is up in the air. We're hitching a ride with helicopter pilot West Luck.
We've been flying choppers in this area for 30 years. It's the worst fire season I've seen so far.
Prince George Fire Center, this is Gibson, Sierra 800 Alpha.
Everywhere you look, you see smoke, burnt out forest and fire. And the vast majority of them have been burning out of control. And from up here, you get a sense of what the fire crews have been up against.
Yesterday, flames ripped through here. Today, conditions are relatively mild, allowing ground crews to start mopping up.
Because in 4 days' time, that hot weather will return, the winds will return, and potentially this thing could blow out somewhere. Love to get a shot of these guys. I love it. My name is Devin Oakes, 28 years old. I've been fighting fire for the last 8 seasons. Let's get a bladder site established.
Oakes, as he's known, is in charge of the Princeton Sierras.
They're 20 stallions, and they're always ready to gallop. It's hard, laborious work.
And the mustaches?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Here, firefighting is mostly backbreaking work, far from the inferno. Even without raging flames, danger is all around.
We have been having some tree strike incidents this year. A ton of trees have been coming down.
The Sierras are on heightened alert.
We begin with an emotional public tribute in Revelstoke this afternoon for a young wildland firefighter who died in the line of...
Devon Gale, the 19-year-old killed by a falling tree last week, was the first death of a BC wildfire fighter since 2015.
I don't really know what to say. Like, I'm not sure. What would you say?
It's tough. They're in the same shoes you're wearing. They're out working towards the same goal you're working towards, and really, it's a big family, even beyond the 21 of us out here today. And it's really hard to lose a member of your family like that.
To minimise risk, dangerous trees are tagged, then cut down before the others can come in with hoses.
Yeah, just knock out all these hot spots, cool everything down.
Even after heavy rain, fires here continue to burn underground.
And you can see like where it's like the surface and how deep it goes. That's what makes it like pretty challenging, because it just burns so deep.
It burns a bit like a fuse down underground, does it?
Yeah, gotta find it, smell it, look for it. So.
But can it kick off again?
Absolutely, good. Yeah, it'll keep going.
Once this is done, it's not just go home and rest up. It's come back out here once we're reset and get back and do another incident immediately. There won't be a shortage for the rest of the summer.
Crews like the Sierras will continue to work these fires until the snow arrives. But reinforcements from across the globe can't stay much longer. The El Nino weather pattern that's brought drought and fire to the southern hemisphere in years past is taking shape.
Sometimes it can be difficult to understand what climate change is unless you're living it. We need to do more when it comes to fighting climate change. We need to do it faster, and we also need to be better prepared to face the impacts of climate change, because we have entered the era of climate change and climate impacts.
It is something that we need to keep in our conscience and make sure that we're doing everything we should to be prepared for fire, because it's something we need to learn to live with.
As the planet warms, fire seasons are starting to overlap. And Australia's outlook for the upcoming summer is causing concern.
There's already stuff starting to crack off back home, so there'll definitely be fire. That's you can guarantee that in Australia.
I know that we're going to have a bad fire season, and we're hoping that we can call on the Canadians then, and they can support us.
There's a lot of folks here in British Columbia that'll be putting their hands up to return that favor.
We have a good day. I'll talk to you soon. Love you. Bye. Bye.